good soup.
Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, The Long Night is over. Short night. not too long. Spoilers.
Yeah, they already know.
Right? Yeah, if you're clicking this video.
All right, roll that little thing you do, and let's just get into it.
Okay.
Come on. I can't do this back and forth right now. I have a lot to say.
The most heroic thing we can do now is look the truth in the face.
The Night King is coming.
The dead are already here.
Yeah, so usually on Nerd Soup, we usually take these episodes scene by scene. It's what we've been doing throughout every season that we've reviewed. But I think we have to start at the end because it's the end of The Long Night. It's something that we didn't expect. Well, we talked about it on previous videos. What if this happens? What if this is the outcome of this battle? And Arya Stark jumping in from behind the Night King. Let's just start right there. What a move.
Pulled the Winter Soldier on him.
The little knife drop that they previewed in Season 7 with her duel with Brienne.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the most shocking moments in the history of the show. I stood up and I watched the rest of the episode standing up. I had my hands on my head, mouth agape. I could not believe what I just saw, that they killed off Granddaddy Ice, the Night King, the big bad of the whole show. Dead. Peace.
Subversion City, baby. Subversion City. And we talked about this before on our preview or one of our podcasts. Like, I had the theory that they're going to defeat the Night King and the White Walkers here, and the real villain is Cersei. And I was talking about how maybe people probably might not like that because 8 seasons of build-up and he just dies. And
I love it.
No,
I love it so much.
I love it too.
Yeah.
And I can understand why you're upset, but I mean, what's going to happen? Like, if he died this episode or next episode, he was still going to die. He wasn't going to sit on the Iron Throne. We've seen those memes, him on the Iron Throne. He wasn't going to win. Whether you wanted more backstory or what you wanted from the Night King and the White Walkers, they were always introduced as a mysterious being. And they're not the end game. The real threat is human, and that real threat is Cersei fucking Lannister. Like I've been saying, it's Cersei. And I fucking loved it, especially I mean, this is my theory that they were going to defeat the White Walkers and the Night King, and Cersei was going to present herself as the true villain of Game of Thrones, which she is. It's a human conflict. Game of Thrones, it's political scheming, it's backstabbing, it's a human element with the White Walkers in the background. And I don't think it was going to end with the White Walkers. It was going to end with this human battle, this political maneuvering, and it's going to end like I think it should. Daenerys and Jon versus Cersei Lannister.
Right.
And I think that's fucking perfect.
Or Jon versus Daenerys versus Cersei Lannister, because now there is a conflict there where, like you said, it is the Game of Thrones, and now there's a throne up for debate. Who's going to sit on it? Is it going to be Daenerys, or will it be Jon?
We have 3 hour and 20-minute episodes left, and I can't wait to see how this plays out.
That's the thing. We have a long time
to go.
And
when I saw Cersei in that fucking... What an outfit, by the way. What a fucking outfit fit for a queen. When I saw her in that garb, in that preview, I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted. Cersei, she's the real villain. The best character in Game of Thrones.
And the director, Miguel Sapochnik, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'll never get that right. He said that 4, 5, and 6, 4 is going to be the beginning, 5 will be the middle, and 6 will be the end. It will truly feel like a story, and that this episode stands alone as an action movie. But yeah, I agree. Cersei Lannister, and I made a joke that the Night King has too much drip and it was just slowing him down because those dudes just don't get a pep in your step, man. Come on, hustle a little bit.
I was saying that too. Melisandre is coming out to light the flame, like, might want to sprint.
You might want to jog, home run trot.
But, I mean, the battle itself, we'll go to that first. I mean, I saw some people complaining, and while I was watching it, too, I'm like, all right, it's lightening it up a little bit. But I kind of dug it.
That you can't see anything?
They didn't sacrifice realism for a spectacle.
No.
You know, even though there's dragons, White Walkers, right? It's not a realistic battle. But when they ground it in reality, like the show has, this is what this battle should be. A fucking blizzard coming from the Night King. No lights, pitch black. You can't see the threat, and it just hits you when you can't expect it. Absolute chaos.
This
Madness.
is hard. It's hard home times a million.
It's hard home in the dark.
It's hard home in the dark, right. Well, I always complain about in movies when there's scenes at night that, why is there light?
Well,
and they're like, oh, it's the moonlight.
It's actually funny. Before this, I saw a picture of Helm's Deep, and they're all sitting on the battlements, and it's like, oh, look how well lit this shot is. and someone's comment is like, I can't wait to watch Game of Thrones where it's pitch black. There shouldn't be a fucking...
No, I like that I can't see what's going on because it made me feel like I was in the battle.
Yeah.
And my basement is also freezing cold, so I thought I was there fighting. But yeah, you can't see who's fighting. You don't know who is going to live or die. Right when the battle began, it's after the Dothraki went to go fight the Whites, which was brilliant, by the way. Melisandre lighting up all their swords, and then that light slowly goes out. That was horrifying.
And
but when they come and they just stampede over the Unsullied, I was like, Grey Worm's dead. He just died, and he didn't die. But you couldn't tell because it was so chaotic and it was so realistically lit. I like that because
Yeah.
it made it feel like a real battle. And they always do that. Like Battle of the Bastards was during the day, but you still had that chaos.
I'll tell you what, there were some fucking tremendous shots in this episode.
Oh, dude, but the shots with the dragons.
I know, but
above
I'm
the
just saying,
storm.
when the Dothraki are breaking apart from Winterfell and they just have their lit swords going, and the Jon and
When
Daenerys
Jon
are
and
looking
Daenerys,
over,
yeah.
absolutely
Stunning.
breathtaking,
Yeah.
to be honest. And one thing, though, Ghost is dead, right?
Ghost, why is he there?
What a waste.
Yeah, why is he charging with the Dothraki?
I've seen they just throwing these direwolves like they're nothing, and it means so much for
No,
like,
if Ghost died like that would be very disappointing.
like we haven't seen him yet, but like first of all, why is he on the fucking Vanguard? He has no like, he can't
Right.
breathe fire, right? He doesn't have dragon glass.
He's
Doesn't
got
have
a
Valerian
dragonglass grill.
steel. He literally can't do nothing to the Whites and White Walkers. Why would Jon let him be with Jorah?
They gave him a dragon glass grill. They decked him out. They iced him out. He was an icy boy.
That's one thing. Unless they're just like, all right, we don't want him anymore. Get rid of him. Which
No,
is
that would
stupid.
Well, but you can get rid of him easier, or give him a better death.
Have him in the
but-
crypts with Sansa.
right.
Have him do something else. That's one thing that I really bothers me if he's not alive.
That moment with Melisandre, the return of Melisandre, I guess maybe that's why she traveled back to Volantis to maybe learn some new magic that can help them. Because as soon as she grabbed the sword, I was like, all these swords are going on fire. And it was beautiful. It gives them hope. It gave them hope when they saw this happen, that maybe they have a chance, and then they get absolutely slaughtered.
It's like they hit a brick wall, man.
They did. And the way that it started with 28 days later, but zombies who can run 4 340s are so much more terrifying than the ones who just fucking walk. The White Walkers are almost like the zombies because they're so slow, but they're just absolute monsters. And the sound too, oh, it's terrifying.
It really is. I mean, I'm kind of upset we didn't see the White Walkers in the battle because we talked about this. We wanted them to. I would have liked to see more of them in the field, except they were just waiting.
Yeah,
It
we
was-
didn't see any of them.
It was obvious they had a plan, right? Like, they brought the blizzard. They wanted to lure out Daenerys and Jon, Rhaegal and Drogon mostly, into the blizzard because
Great
once-
hero moment by Daenerys and Jon
What?
when they were being overrun by the Whites in the very beginning, and then the dragons come.
Well, they
and give
wanted them
some
to do
relief.
that
Yes.
because they.
Well, they messed up because they were supposed to light up the trench.
hmm
Yes.
And they were supposed to wait. That's why the Night King is coming. Jon
Mhm.
said that, and Daenerys says the dead is here. So I felt like they were gonna wait to see the Night King with Viserion, but once that happened, Daenerys is like, I can't sit back and let this happen. We're gonna be sitting fucking ducks.
The little Ramsey move with Rickon, just luring Jon out and into the open.
A couple times, especially at the end, when the Night King resurrects everyone around Jon.
Yes.
That's another one. Jon maybe fall back a little, but. Yeah, and the blizzard scenes, like, they couldn't see anything. They banged into each other. It was like, we can't see anything. They can't see anything. It made sense.
Yes.
Obviously, people are going to be like, I wanted to see the battle. I want to know what's going on, but it's just utter chaos.
And the first big death, I guess, would be Ghost, but then it's Ed.
Yeah.
And you knew as soon as Ed saved Sam that Ed was going to die. And, that's a character that goes back to season 2. I think when they go ranging beyond the walls when Ed is introduced. And the ultimate pessimist, we're all always fucked. And I wish he would have survived this battle to see that they won.
I should have at least burned his body, huh? They kind of messed up on that.
No, yeah, they didn't burn his body. He does come back at the end. And he was the first significant death. But yeah, the chaos of that first battle before they retreat. Like you said, you can't see anything that's going on. And I just like that because it makes you feel like you're in the middle of that battle. And we always talk about if we had to fight under these circumstances, we would be absolute chickens and cowards. But
I'd play dead. I'd
when
be
it's
in the
that
crypts.
chaotic, you have no other choice but to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be in the crypts too, playing dead. And then you get resurrected.
Bill Murray, that shit, fuck it. In Zombieland.
And I was wondering to myself, what is Bran going to do in this episode? Is he going to warg into a dragon or warg into Ghost or take control of some of the Whites? But he says to Theon, he was like, I'm happy that you're here. And that was a great moment between him and Theon. It was I like that moment much more than the Jon and Theon scene in season 7, where he says to him, Theon's about to apologize, and he says, every decision that you ever made brought you right here, home, where you belong.
Speaking this is like, I know it's a serious moment, but I'm just imagining, what if when Theon charged with the Night King, he kneed him in the nuts, Theon gave him a smile, and then hit him.
And then hit him with the dagger.
Yeah.
That would have been so bad, but amazing at the same time. Another callback to season 7.
But all the Theon stuff was like, we were talking about in the preview how he wanted to see some of that old Theon charisma.
Yes.
And he was leading the Ironborn. He was giving orders. He was protecting Bran. He was the last man standing.
Last man.
So it was a great Theon moment, and it was a fitting way to die, I guess. If there was a fitting way to die, it's him protecting Bran in the Godswood.
Yeah, who would have thought that Theon, after all he's been through, would have came face to face with the Night King?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those moments where you just didn't expect this character to see that villain, and then he dies at the hand of the Night King.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
then,
liked how we first saw the Night King too. Like, he just in the dragon, in the blizzard.
I think this might be my favorite design of the character. They changed it a bit from season 7. Season 5 was always my favorite at Hardhome, but I liked the blue eyes. They really made them pop, and the makeup looked great, and the actor who plays him, Vladimir Verdict, he's a big stunt guy. He was actually the White Walker that Jon kills in season 5. Okay. He was playing that guy under the makeup. But that, when you're looking up at him and he's on Viserion, how about those dragon battles?
Yeah,
first one?
When they fly up over the blizzard into the stars, that was fucking beautiful.
That shot was beautiful with the moon in the background.
Yeah.
That was great. But he went hard at Daenerys first with the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Viserion died when Jon and Rhaegal started poking at him.
Yeah.
Because it looked like they ripped his neck off.
It was gritty, too. They were biting each other, clawing at each other, ripping scales
It was
out.
very fast, too, the movements of the dragons. Those aerial battles were fantastic. But going back to the battle within the castle, when they have to retreat and then they put all the archers on the battlements up top and then they start climbing the walls, that's when it gets really chaotic because now you're closed in. So bringing everybody back, the moment with the giant, I was wondering, where the fuck are these giants? Did you like that?
Yeah, dude, it was like a perfect storm of events. It's the Hound's cower, like, he's hiding, and Beric's like points up to Arya. It's like, oh, you think she's scared or whatever, or she doesn't want to fight.
Well, what he says too is that we can't beat them; they're death.
Yeah,
just tell that to Arya.
You tell it to her. The way he looks at her and just gets right out, like he just goes right after her. That started getting the emotions all wild up, and that led right into Lyanna Mormont, and. And we see her earlier in an episode, and she looks fucking shaken up like we've never seen her before. When she picks up the axe, runs at him, gets crushed, but can still poke him in the eye like that. It's just a fitting way for her to go out from that character. Even though we've only seen her for a few episodes from late season 6 and season 7, it's like that's the way she should go out.
She went out like the warrior she always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Lyanna Mormont's been such a badass. Great child actress, Bella Ramsey. That face, like we said, that face can absolutely kill. And I wish she would have got her moment with the Night King, but one of the first significant deaths of the episode. And another great moment for Melisandre, and this is why Jon didn't kill her in season 6, that he sent her on her way. He knew that she was going to have something to do, that she was going to play some sort of role. And her lighting the trench, it was a mistake by Daenerys not lighting the trench.
Not a mistake, they couldn't see. It was just a blizzard.
Right, well, they were supposed to wait.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that was to get the call from Davos. But Melisandre, again, it was very emotional when she was saying that that spell.
Mm-hmm.
That you can tell, you could see that fear in her eyes. And she's a character that doesn't really play her emotions like that. She's always very stern. But in that moment, she thought that she was seeing her end before she could help them.
I put everything she had into that, right?
Yeah.
So as we see at the end. Yeah, they light the trench, and we see the Night King, like, actually, I think this is the first time we've seen him actually, like, obviously we've seen him raise him up, but we never really seen him give orders or something like that. And all it takes is obviously on his mind, but all it takes is like a little hand gesture.
Hand, yeah.
And they all just pile on, put the fire out, and they just climb over. That was like the beginning of like, all right, we're in the walls, we're
That's what
backed
reminded me
up.
of Helm's Deep, man.
Yeah.
When they get the ladders.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were just climbing like World War Z shit.
Yeah, they were.
Back to Bran, though. What was he doing? Because he got into the Ravens, right?
He knew Arya was going to do that.
You think so?
Yeah. It was all a trap. It was all a trap because it goes back to the moment where he hands her the knife in season 7.
Yeah, I know, but
and in the Godswoods, right there.
I know, but what was he like? He went away. He just went into the Ravens, and that's kind of it. Was he just watching like Endgame or something?
No, I think he was just watching the battle with the rest of us, the area. He's like, dragons are up there fighting. I'm not fucking staying down here. I mean, Theon, you're doing great. You're doing fantastic with the bow and arrow, but there are dragons up there.
Hey, Theon, Endgame spoilers are rampant right now, so I need to catch this shit before I get spoiled.
I wonder if he got it in time. Probably just watch the third act.
Yeah.
He's like, I've already seen the end of Game of Thrones, so I don't need to stick around for this.
And I love some of the shots too. Just it happened a couple times, but when they cut to every character, that first Clash 2, they cut to pretty much they pan to everybody, and you see everybody going at it. And even inside of Battlements, you see that again multiple times, where they just show you all the characters. And I think some people might be upset that the lack of main characters that did die. And
Right. I think we got enough bodies.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that we thought were going to die did die.
Some
Jorah.
of them didn't. Brienne, Grey Worm.
Yeah, we thought Grey Worm and Brienne were done.
But it also, I would say too, it's
Well, there's a lot of battles left.
obviously they're getting sworn, but these aren't like skilled warriors. There's
No.
one chop and you're dead.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
if-
they have the weapons where they just make contact with them. A
Yeah.
paper cut from Dragon Glass kills you.
So I feel like Brienne just swinging back and forth will kill all of them. It's obviously immensely tiring, and there's a lot of them, so you can get overwhelmed.
That's what I was thinking about. I'm like, I'm in terrible shape. I would be exhausted.
Oh no, it's
I would need some Gatorade on the sideline there to get the electrolytes flowing again. But
they use all their timeouts.
yeah, they didn't have enough. Talk about the Night King. Fucking can't win on the road.
No.
Can't win on the road. He needs that home field advantage.
Yes.
But let's go to the inside, because what leads the Hound and Arya together is when Arya escapes inside of the castle, and that was the Last of Us video game. That was like a stealth video game inside that room where she's trying to sneak around all those. That was giving me anxiety the whole time.
Well, I really enjoy the quiet moments, especially Arya, especially when you go down in the crypts and you have Sansa going down there, and you see early in the episode she wanted to be out, but there was really no place for her. Arya
Well,
kinda
Tyrion wants-
saves it for himself. And
Yeah.
Well, Tyrion was saying like, maybe we can see something. We're all very smart people. Like maybe we can do something. And Sansa's like, listen,
Listen,
there's nothing we can really do.
go take a look.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to Arya, that stealth, like that was pretty cool. She looks over, sees a white, has to maneuver around, and that leads her to Beric and the Hound. And the whole time I was thinking, especially when Beric was getting pieced up a little, all right, they brought him back. Why did they bring him back?
Yes,
And we learn later that, him being there helped
Saved Arya.
Arya and the Hound.
that toss with the sword when he threw the sword at the white when it was flaming.
So that's the moment.
Yeah, that is the
I
moment.
was talking about like when Hodor died, it's like he's probably thinking his whole life, like, all right, when's the right time to hold the door? And like throughout all his life, like when he's like 15 years old,
This is it.
like someone's like, hey, can you hold that door for me? He's like, hell yeah. Finally. Like a Star-Lord moment. Finally.
It's my moment.
But it's like, no, he just held the door.
Every time he had to hold the door, this man thought he was going to die. Imagine that.
So I'm like, all right, Beric, like, what's your moment? And obviously it's that saving Arya of that sword throw. And then they go back. It's the Hound, Arya, and Melisandre just fucking sitting there.
You know
And
what's
for a
funny?
moment, I really didn't like, I guess it was the lighting too. I couldn't really see. When she first says her first sentence, it looked like her mouth didn't move.
Who, Melisandre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wait, is she talking right now?
Maybe she's just transcended speech. She's
That's what I
just
thought
talking-
for a
yeah,
second, but
she's
she was like
using
she was kind of in the corner, and the lighting was a little dim. So
Yeah, and then she has that great callback to Syrio Forel when all the whites are storming the door, and she says to Arya, "What do we say to the god of death?"
not today, baby. Not
And also
fucking today.
the speech of all the eyes that she'll close forever. Right there, I was thinking she might kill a White Walker. I wasn't thinking. I can't say that I thought she was going to kill the Night King in that moment, but I was like, oh, she's got to go kill some White Walkers.
Well, when you hear
she's
it-
been killing whites.
I know when you hear it back in the day, like when it first happened, when they first met, you're like, oh, people have blue eyes.
Exactly.
But when she said it in that moment, I'm like,
Oh, right, because the White Walkers have blue eyes when they get resurrected. Oh,
Yeah.
Melisandre, though. Great last episode for that character. And the Hound, too. How much he cares about Arya. It's fucking adorable. And they're the best together.
Well, you see Arya early in her episode, fucking rip the arrow and kill
Yeah.
the white chasing the hounds.
Save the Hound. I just want to go back to the very beginning real quick because we didn't talk about this. That opening sequence with Sam was so ominous and chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about that, the music was great. There's not a lot of talking. I think the only line is Ed, where he says, "For fuck's sake."
Well,
it took
someone
you
says
long
in the
enough."
beginning, it's like something like random. It's just like go or like whatever. Like, what are you doing?
Liana Mormont's giving commands and shit.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Somebody says to Sam, it's like, go.
Yeah, they cut to like different characters and Tyrion. It's like everything like we're getting ready. Like, what the fuck is going on? And you mentioned the music, the fucking score in this episode. Jesus Christ, man.
He's the best. He's the best composer working in Hollywood today.
Yeah.
Yes, the music in Game of Thrones rivals the music in Star Wars. And they always say that Star Wars it's like 50% the music.
Whose theme would you attribute that to at the end? I want to say it's Night King's, but we never heard it. I don't think we've heard that before.
No, I don't think so. At the very end? Or when
that
he
whole
dies.
last sequence, like
Yeah.
that.
Well, the Night King's theme is always it's that ominous music that accompanies the storm.
Yeah,
And I would have to listen to it again.
it was fucking masterful though. Very reminiscent of The Light of the Seven.
Well, they also put in the main theme
Mhm.
at one point during the episode. The dun dun.
Well, the mixing too. They cut
Yeah.
everything together so well.
I don't think we talk about that enough, though. The music in this show.
No, it
It's-
amplified the
it's-
moments so much
it's
more.
brilliant. Just from every little theme that this man has composed. There were some great moments in this episode too between Jamie and Brienne, and obviously they're in love. But them on the battlements together, they weren't fighting necessarily back to back, but
It was
it was
close
a nice,
enough.
Yeah, it was a team up where they were saving each other. I think a nitpick of this episode was that they kept going to a character about to die, and then he's saved by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nitpick.
And go back to Arya too, when she's fucking going off with the weapon Gendry made her.
Oh
and
yeah,
just cleaning people up, and you see Davos looking over over her shoulder, and it's like,
wow, that's impressive.
yeah,
Where'd you learn that? No one. Yeah, that was a great moment for Arya, and like we always said, the training has to pay off. That there has to be a reason
yeah.
why she's. I think there was a reason. There's a big reason at the end.
Well, I think when we talk about that, we're like the faceless
The
maneuvering
faceless powers, right?
have to pay off,
Right.
and I guess you can say
They might.
the stuff with the.
We got 3 episodes
Shut
here,
up.
boy.
If
She
you-
might get her.
If you're gonna say what I
She
think
might
you're gonna
piece
say,
her up.
I honestly would. I wouldn't review it. That's how upset I would be. If that
Arya
happens.
killing Cersei.
Yes, it has to be Jamie.
Dude, if Arya kills
Tyrion, maybe. I'll give you Tyrion. If it's Arya, no, sir. I'm out.
I don't think she's going to kill Cersei. I think, but she's going to use the faceless
Yes.
abilities against Cersei's army.
in some way, yes.
Yeah, maybe she kills Euron.
But people are like, oh, well, she's wearing Jamie's face. Like, if Jamie kills Cersei and rips it off, it's Arya. No. Done.
You wouldn't find that a little awesome?
No.
I want it to be Jamie too, because it's
Not
it's
for
one
my
of
baby
those,
girl and my baby boy. Cersei and Jamie have to have
Your
that
twins?
list. Yeah.
Who are you, Tywin?
A hell
And
of
you
a
want them to
compliment.
die?
Hell of a compliment.
Yeah, I'll give you Tywin. As long as I'm Tyrion.
And you can argue, like, you can say, like, all right, she killed all the Freys, and season 7 there's a big plot with that, but it didn't really pay off in the way that we've always expected. So maybe we'll see something in these last 3 episodes.
Yes.
We still have 4 hours left.
4 hours, yeah. Oh boy. No, but that moment with her and Bran in the Godswoods and Theon's death, like we talked about it before, that he fought to the last man. But before that, the moment where they get the Night King on the ground, that aerial battle ends with the Night King falling off of Viserion. He's on the ground. Daenerys comes up, flies over him. I thought maybe this was it. I really thought in this moment that he could have died here.
Well, she hit that Dracarys, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that to kill him, but when she said it, I'm like, that was such an awesome moment. Drogon flying over him with Daenerys, that was great.
Was he smiling?
Yes.
He was smiling,
He was
right?
smiling, which I love, because it adds so much to his character without even saying a word.
He's such a dick. That's awesome. I was saying to myself in that moment that she needs to get out of there now because he's got a spear. He's 1 for 3. Not great. Not great accuracy.
Yeah, but the one was a bomb.
I don't know. That one was a bomb. That's true.
Tebow won a playoff game in one pass.
I don't know. We have to see him at the combine. She flies away, and now he's going to get Bran. So this is his plan in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jon is also on the ground because Rhaegal crashes. I thought Rhaegal died in this moment, but I think we see him in the next on Game of Thrones, so I think he survived. But he got pieced up pretty bad.
So did Drogon.
Yeah, Drogon did too. Right, when they all get resurrected. But this is what leads to that resurrection. Jon Snow running after the Night King. And the Night King turns around and he hits him again with part 2 of Raising the Dead. And in this moment, this is where I began to think the Night King might have to die. Because if he resurrects everybody that just fell, there's no way anybody comes out with their life.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would have just been absolutely overrun. And they probably should have thought about this too, that, he's going to bring back all of our soldiers that fall.
Well, we talked about that too. Marissa brought that up,
Yeah.
and we talked about the Crips, obviously.
But him running toward, I thought they were going to get a one-on-one here.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to make it before they all got resurrected.
One of my friends, he texted me right after the episode, and he's like, "Am I being a buzzkill if I say I didn't like the episode?" I'm like, oh, "Why didn't you like it?" And I explained my whole Cersei thing, like the real threat is Cersei. But he's like, "But Arya never had any interaction with the Night King. It should have been Jon's battle to win," which I do agree with.
It's like the Battle of the Bastards. Everybody gave him credit for winning that battle, but It was Sansa who turned the tide with the Knights of the Vale.
But when you think about the White Walkers and Night King, you think of Jon too.
Yeah, you do, but it's also Jon Snow. It's like what Tyrion said in episode 1. If Jon Snow didn't give up his crown, if he didn't risk his a life to bring that white to King's Landing, all the things that he did allowed them to be ready for this battle. And
Is that Azor Ahai?
Well, somebody made that case too, right? Is Arya now Azor Ahai because she killed the Night King? It's the prince who was promised will bring the dawn. So it's not the prince who was promised will kill the Night King. Jon brought the dawn. He brought everybody together so that they could fight literally into the next day and survive. So I think you could still make the case that it is Jon. Because without him, without everything that he sacrificed, without everything that he did, they're not in this position. They're just not ready for this threat.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think Jon should have won the...
Well, when people say that, oh, it's disappointing that Arya killed him and it wasn't Jon, that's not what Game of Thrones is. Game of Thrones, from the very first episode, it's going to give you a realistic take on how these events would play out. It's not going to give you the typical hero moments. You have to look at the bigger picture when you want Jon's hero moment, and he's had a lot of them.
But you got to think, though, the prophecy, right? You can throw out the sacrifice, throw out the flaming sword. You could throw out all of that because that didn't happen.
Yeah, it probably didn't happen the first time either. But that's what
you
George,
were there?
No, but George R. R. Martin always says,
I'm
don't take
joking.
these prophecies literal. And they're so metaphorical, and we never see anything like that in the present day. We see the resurgence of magic, but we don't see people sacrificing their wife to make a super-powered flaming Jedi sword.
That would be pretty dope.
Right, well, we go back to the books where Jon would have those dreams of him wielding a flaming sword fighting against the others. Now I have to go back to the books, too, because I wonder if it gets resolved this quickly. This has to be from George. It has to be.
Well, too, I mean, obviously, Daenerys is the other
Candidate
for Azor Ahai. And you can also make the argument that without her bringing her dragons and committing to Jon's cause, then they wouldn't have been able to defeat the Night King also.
Well,
so
that's
it
the
could
thing,
be
it's a
kind of
role
a
to play.
joint
Yes.
Azor Ahai. I was going to try to, what's the plural of Azor Ahai, but I feel like Azor Ahai.
Oh, so yeah. There's
or-
no Azor Ahai's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the I it's like Jedi.
Yeah.
It's singular and plural.
Azor Ahai.
Yeah.
Arya, Jon, and Daenerys.
Yeah. When he's charging to the Night King, I thought they were going to have that showdown, but it didn't happen. But even like his journey through that, like we see that other pan when he's running through the remnants of Winterfell and they cut to everybody. You see, I think it's Gendry and maybe Tormund, and you see Brienne and Jaime. You see Sam, and he's looking at all of them, and he doesn't help. It's
No.
like, I have to do something. I can't. There's something more at stake here. I need to get the Bran. I need to protect him against the Night King. Old Jon might have saved, like in any other scenario, he would have saved Sam.
Yeah, he was willing to sacrifice all of his friends.
And then you see fucking Viserion land in Winterfell, and he's kind of like,
I thought he was dead.
It's like a video game where where the flames are going like back and forth, and you have to hide like that one thing. You have to run and hide, run and
I thought
hide.
the same exact thing, dude. It was like Skyrim when the dragon appears in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of ducking him and hiding, like you said. It's stealth. And this is where I thought Jon was going to have his moment where he kills the dragon.
Yes, I wanted Dragon Slayer Jon. Not gonna lie, when he stood up, he's like, ah!
Yeah.
I'm like, he's gonna slay the dragon.
He gets burned alive. I was wondering, too, when we were going to get that Jon Snow tracking shot.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best, but it was still very good. My favorite moment is when he evades all the whites and then he closes the gate on them and they're all reaching at him. That was a great moment. But yeah, him bringing everybody back to life when Daenerys and Drogon save Jon, and then Drogon is getting swarmed by all of the whites, and he's crying out. They're piecing him up. It was like he was being infected with fleas almost. He's like a big dog trying to get rid of these fleas, and Dany gets knocked off. And who's there to save her?
Jorah Mormont.
Jorah Mormont. And his death is how Barristan should have went out in the show.
Yes, exactly.
Defending his queen, defending the love of his life. It was such a noble death for a character that has had a complicated road up until this point. But like Bran says, everything he did led him to this moment.
Well, even Dany, I mean, she picked up the weapon and was killing people. I fucking love that.
Dany with the sword.
I love
I
that.
loved it too.
It was so awesome.
Her picking it up. I was like, if she doesn't kill anybody, that's still okay. But the fact that she picked up a sword, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, let me dust off the old sword lessons that I never took. But she did. She got a couple of them.
Well, it's
she
so,
got a
it's
couple
so
licks
white,
in.
so it's like you just got to swing. It's not like you need to be some skilled warrior to beat these
It's
people.
T-ball.
Yeah.
Just make contact.
So I love that. When she got a couple, she saved Jorah a time or two.
Jorah, that was an emotional death because they did drag it out. Reminded me, you know what it reminded me of? Boromir.
Mm-hmm.
Just fighting to the last breath.
Got hit with what I thought was the finishing shot. He
In
got
the
back
gut,
up,
right?
got back
Yeah.
up, and then he fell at the end. That was when Daenerys was crying over him.
And Drogon comes and circles both
consoles
of them.
him. Yeah, that was.
How did I not cry? I think I was so excited from what Arya did that I couldn't cry in that moment. But yeah, Bran, that final speech that he has with Theon, and he knows that Theon is about to die in this moment, just buying them time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of that in Game of Thrones, where it's characters that they do something that doesn't appear, it's heroic, but it doesn't appear significant when it happens. And then after the fact, you think, if Theon didn't make that sacrifice, Arya doesn't get there in time. How did she escape that room?
I think she jumped out the window.
She just jumped out the window?
Yeah.
Okay.
She learned that.
I hope the Hound survives. You probably did.
He kind of just butt slid down. But yeah, some of the character moments in between all the chaos were fucking beautiful. Sansa and Tyrion's another one that stands out.
What about that whole, we should have stayed married? She was thinking about it a little bit.
Oh yeah,
She considered it.
I love how Missandei is yeah, without the Dragon Queen, we wouldn't even be here.
Well,
Always sticking to her girl.
right, but that also points to a little betrayal from Tyrion. It's another little sign of Tyrion having doubt about Daenerys. And it comes from Sansa at first, but the fact that, you need to watch your tongue.
Yeah.
Missandei is there. Missandei is very loyal to Daenerys. Maybe that comes back and bites them both in the butt.
But yeah, we see what we predicted, the crypts coming alive. And that was scary too.
It was scary.
And I thought Tyrion might have been toast, because when they had that moment, Tyrion and Sansa, it almost seemed like Tyrion was going to go out and try to fight while Sansa stayed behind where they were hiding.
Yeah, what was that?
It almost seemed like they were on top of something,
Yeah.
but the way it panned, and then it looked like they were behind something.
But then Tyrion goes to where the other people are hiding, and then nothing happens.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, cool.
it was a nice moment between them,
Yeah.
though.
No, it was. They had a lot of good lines in this episode, and it's fun to see them on good terms. That one line that she asked to him, that's saying you were the best of them, and Tyrion's like, "Wow, what? Thanks, I guess."
Yeah. Ooh, that's out of Joffrey and Ramsay and Littlefinger, maybe.
My first husband, never should have divorced him.
Littlefinger didn't get married, but that was the other suitor she had. It's yeah, Tyrion is the best. Probably the best for anybody, really.
This is a prototypical almost series finale. If this was another show, the ending where the Night King dies, all of his whites fall, they win. They're victorious in the long night, but then we have 4 hours left.
No, yeah, it's like for Game of Thrones, it would be the penultimate.
Yeah, yeah, kind of.
We still have 3 left. And going back to, he takes that shawl off to Bran. Bran's just like, hey, what's up, man?
Oh, it's you again? What's up, boy?
And I feel like Bran, I guess he knew, right?
There seemed to be a small amount of fear within Bran.
Well, one of the
hope she gets here in
White
time.
Walkers senses something, his hair blows back, and that's Arya, I guess, for the training, just sneaking in. We saw her be light on her feet earlier in an episode in that library, I guess, wherever they were.
And also when she sneaks up on Jon in the Godswood.
Yeah.
How did you sneak up on me?
Yeah.
How did you survive a dagger in the heart? Because the Night King ain't surviving that bitch.
No, and
I fucking love it. I can't believe he's dead.
can't believe Arya
He's
killed
dead.
him too, man.
And Arya killed him. He's dead.
And just going back to that, I feel like a lot of people are not going to like that. And I kind of understand it.
And I love that too.
That a lot of people aren't going to like it?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like it too, because I like it.
I like it. So
I'm selfish. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's it was always a conflict between humans.
Yes.
And you had the White Walker, but you had the White Walkers, you had the Night King, and that caused so much people to come together. And it's not like it was a waste, right?
No.
Because that's Jon's arc, Jon's ability to bring people together, how he gets with Daenerys, how basically the whole North unites under Jon and Daenerys.
Maybe that was the Night King's purpose the whole time.
He wanted
knew
to
it.
unite.
It's like the aliens in Arrival.
Yeah.
So I brought them together.
He there
to
is
kill
a
Cersei. He was like, this bitch is so evil that we need to unite everybody to take her down. And Cersei's like, hell yeah. You see that clip of her in that preview?
dude.
Ooh,
Oh my god.
She's that fit.
I'm not just saying this because I'm the biggest Cersei stan of all time.
You absolutely are, but continue.
I'm kind of right. I was right. Not gonna lie. I won't pat myself on the back.
You
but
did predict that
you-
Cersei is the true villain.
You
of
can
Game
if
of
you
Thrones.
want.
I'll pat for you.
Pat me, boy.
Because once you introduce
makes sense,
that
doesn't
idea,
it?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. And we talked about what if the Night King does fall in this battle, and then you introduced the idea that if he does fall, it's because Cersei is the main villain. And it was a great theory. I'm so excited to see how it all ends, though, because we always talk about, People always complain season 7, season 6, they became too mainstream, that they leaned into the action, and then they got away from the politics. Now the ending is saying, you want the politics again? Here's 4 hours of Game of Thrones. You want season 3, season 4, you want that human conflict? That's how it's going to end. It was always going to end like this.
And it's beautiful. I love it. It's like, I wouldn't want anything else. What's the alternative? The Night King wins the Iron Throne? And I've seen the memes, everyone like, oh, I'm rooting for the Night King. It's not going to happen. Like, what's he going to do? Just sit there and like rule, like with his little fucking whatever, however he communicates?
He's like, this sucks.
The Night King was always going to lose, and we were never going to know why he was doing this. It's a mystery. The best villain is something that you don't understand and you don't know. You don't know why they're doing it. He didn't need a backstory. He didn't need flashes to basically ruin the surprise, even though we did get some, and we didn't like that when we first saw that, and I don't think a lot of people liked it too. It's a threat that no one understands and no one ever will. The human threat, a character that we've seen since the first episode, is the real villain, and that's what I want. I can understand if you don't like it, but this is perfect for me.
I'll tell you what, I saw like the first 5 minutes of Barry. Not bad.
I'm intrigued.
And I need to catch that from the beginning.
I like that Bill Hader.
He's good. He's creepy looking though.
Oh, Paul Rudd.
Hey guys, thank you for watching this video, and before we go, I want to quickly thank our Patreon supporters. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to grow and evolve as a channel, so thank you for your generous pledges. If you are interested in supporting our channel through Patreon, visit www.patreon.com/nerdsoup, and you can see the different rewards we offer to our Patreon supporters. T-shirts, mugs, stickers, access to our behind-the-scenes video, and more. Thanks again for watching this video, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Or dislike, don't share, and unsubscribe. It's a binary world, folks.